GHOne TV, your best experience. GHOne TV, your best experience.
Welcome to State of Affairs. Today we are coming to you from the University of Ghana. The Career and Counseling Center here at the University of Ghana is putting together an industry academia forum. It's basically about jobs, what employers look for and what graduates should also have before they go in looking for jobs. If you remember last year, that was 2017, the Institute of Statistics, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana revealed that only 10% of graduates find jobs after their first year of completing school. It further went forward to say that it may take up to 10 years for a large number of graduates to secure employment due to varied challenges that range from lack of employable skills, unavailability of funding capital for entrepreneurship, poor attitudes of graduates towards job opportunities, as well as the low capacities of industry to absorb the huge numbers. These figures, if you can tell, attribute to the ascendancy of graduate unemployment in the country. So the question is, really, do universities prepare graduates well enough for the world of work and entrepreneurship? If they do, is the preparation good enough? If they are not, what should we be doing? And what is the right way to attack this problem? That is why State of Affairs is privileged enough this morning to be recording this for TV. I'll quickly go through our guests for this discussion. They are discussants, if I want to put it that way. I'll start with Professor Daniel Ofori. Professor Daniel Ofori is here representing the Pro Vice Chancellor. Can we give him a round of applause, please? Ms. Eunice Ejapong is the Executive Director for First Bank. It's good to have you here as well. Dr. Lydia Aziato is the Dean of School of Nursing. Can we welcome her as well? Thank you. Mr. Leonard Kwakupome is the Director of Surveyed Consult. Also, Mrs. Dana Kwashi is the CEO of Giraffe Consulting. Can we welcome her as well? And then Ms. Nana Isilfua Boyson is the Corporate Affairs Manager for Barclays Bank. Oh, and then last but not the least, I completely forgot about you. Professor Michael Tego is the Provost College of Education. Can we welcome him? Okay, so basically, we are going to have a question and answer later. So for all of you students here who have been wondering what to do to get a job at Barclays Bank, for instance, you can ask her all the questions. If you want to go into consulting, if you want to know exactly what you require for your CV to look very sharp and not necessarily sitting in front of your computer to copy what is on Google for your CV, you can ask all of these ladies and gentlemen these questions. I'd want to come straight to you first. Ms. Nana Isilfua Boyson, Corporate Affairs Manager for Barclays Bank, because a lot of the time when you meet a graduate and he or she read a business course, automatically they want to go and work in a bank. Is it that easy to get into a bank?
I think the response is a yes and a no. Because at any point in time, we're looking for opportunities for our young graduates. And it also depends on what we're looking for, what position we need to fill. So, yes, the job market is a little tight these days because we're all being more efficient, and therefore it's not about the numbers you employ, but it's how efficient, your resources can be put to. And so, as I always, I get on these platforms quite a bit and I say, you have a host of students, competing for a couple of roles. The question is, how can you make yourself, more attractive to myself as an employer, so that out of, the number of you are the one I'm going to select at the end of the recruitment process. So yes, we don't have as many slots as, some time ago. But yes, openings do come up, and then we fill it with the most competent out of, the number that we interview.
I have to come to you now, Eunice, because you're also from the financial sector. She talks about competence. If you were recruiting today and you were asking for 5 years experience, and you have a graduate who left the university 10 years ago, hasn't had any experience, but has the potential, how are you going to recruit based on the potential, and one who has been in the sector for 5 years but really hasn't got what it takes to satisfy the role you're looking for?
Okay, so it starts with, should I say, the interviews that happen. Okay. Now, through the interview, that potential should be made bare to whoever is interviewing you. So if you have the potential, what shows you actually have that potential? You could give examples of what you've done whilst in school, some examples of things you've done in the club, in church, and all of those. And those are the things that will bring out the potentials in you. But if you come saying, I have the potential, nobody gets to see it. And then the other bit is that, yes, you may not have all of that experience. It's true employers are looking for experience, but based on some past things that you've done, not necessarily with work, right, it can actually make you employable. Okay, so basically what you're saying is that when you're in the university, you should engage more. Yes. You should do a lot of things. You should sign up to clubs here and there. Yeah. Are you listening to that? Okay. You want to chip in before I move? Okay. So you would look at the potential based on their engagements in school, and that can inform your decision. All right. Let me still engage the industry. I'll come to the discussants from the University of Ghana Management very soon, because I now want to speak to Mrs. Dana Kwashi, because you are coming from a company that you're managing yourself. All right, so it's about entrepreneurship now. If you left the university today and you believe that you have what it takes to start a business on your own, but do not have the capital to start it, what do you do? How do you address this?
Before I go into that, let me just touch upon what these two ladies have just said. In terms of the skills that you require through things that you do outside of university, in church, communities, etc. Even when you volunteer, you build skills, okay? And that is what makes you employable to the employer. Earlier on, when Justin was giving the introductory speech, he mentioned making yourself stand out. That's your unique selling point, your USP. Everyone should work on that, okay? As Nana said, it is highly competitive, but you have to make yourself stand out. So in order for someone at Barclays to look at you, when, let's say, we have 50 people applying for the same role, what is it that makes you unique? You should be able to demonstrate that. Going back to your question, so somebody graduates out of university and wants to start their own business. It needs to be something that you're passionate about, you don't just get up and think, well, you know what, if I do this, I'll make a lot of money, so I'll go for it. It has to be something you're passionate about, something that you know about, something that you've had experience within. Because that is what gives you the drive. That is what helps you be creative when trying to sort of launch yourself. And that is what also helps you when you're selling yourself to potential sponsors, potential clients, individuals, trying to get yourself known. That is what your passion comes through, and that is what drives you.
Right. Okay, you want to add up, Mr. Kwakupume?
So what I want to add is to what Donna has said, is that you also need to find out whether people need what you want to give, the passion you have that you want to give. Do people need it? Where are the people who need that passion? So if that passion can satisfy people in the Bronga Hafo region, you don't sit in Accra and give it, because you will not get it. So in addition to the passion and everything, which is what will drive you, you also need to find out where people need that thing that you want to give out. Whether it's a service, whether it's a product, you need to know where to find the people.
Do you need a lot of money to start out?
I would say no. It depends on what you are going into. Generally, I would say no. Because if you have something that is valuable or that is sellable, there are people who will be willing to put their money to it.
Right.
So if you can develop the thing, even if it's a product, if it's a service, most of the time it's a lot easier. If it's a product, then that's where you need money. But if you can, do your business plan, or think about it well, put something down, even if it's not a business plan that will sell. I'm sure when you have spoken to people and people are interested, they can help you put the business plan together. So you need to know exactly what you want to give. Put something down on paper, something you can talk to people about. I mean, we talk about the elevator speech. I don't know whether these days we talk about it, but we talk about elevator speech. So if you meet somebody very important walking into this conference, can you just sell that thing to the person in the 2-3 minutes that you have to spend with a person? So you need to put something down. It needs to be with you. It needs to come out of you. Then people will want to listen.
All right, let's go to Eunice. Eunice wants to add a thought to it, and then I'll go to academia.
Okay, you're talking about startup capital. Now, the point is, you do not just get up in a day and say, I want to be an entrepreneur. The idea starts at a point, whilst maybe you are in school or something. So at that point, I would actually encourage everyone to start some investment or a saving then, so that once you get out and then you want to start out something, you can actually start with it. Nobody will be willing to put money into a business where you don't even have anything to start with. To begin with. So you should be able to do some investment for yourself. And if you are saving some little 50 CDs, some little 100 CDs every month or something, it could accumulate into so much for you. And at the end of the day, you can start up with that orange juice business or something. But you need to have something you yourself will start with, and not always look out for people to help you.
Absolutely. Now let me go to academia now. I want to start off with a rep for the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Daniel Ofori. And now, many a time you hear people say that it is garbage in, garbage out. You have graduates looking for jobs, they come with their CVs, you speak to them and you realize that they are not ready for the world of work. How does the University of Ghana prepare its students for work?
The University of Ghana executes its mandate, which is to, as it were, produce graduates. But there are two participants. There's the student and then there's the university. And a lot of people forget that irrespective of how hard we work and how much we try, if the students don't pick it up and run with it, we wouldn't have done anything at all. What I find is that a lot of the students do not see themselves as going through a phase that prepares them for life. They come to the University of Ghana and they want a qualification, a degree. So their outlook is, how do I pass the exam? If I walk to class and I give you an assignment, I say, okay, I want you guys to do it in groups, 5, 8, 10. What you find, or what I find, is that 80% of the people sit back and allow 1 or 2 people to take the lead. In fact, sometimes you find that the only time that that person has any relationship with the assignment is when it's submitted. So when you ask them to present in class and then you call any of the 8, this person looks at this person and says, oh yeah, you were not there. And they just smile. So they don't put themselves in that attitude of wanting to learn. So if you don't want to learn, by all means, you are not going to learn anything. What they also forget is that this is a process. It's a learning process. At the end of the process, you're going to learn something through education. And that education comes with assimilation of knowledge, various types of knowledge. So you are learning quantitative methods, you are learning that, you are learning that. You are even learning how to be in class on time, and they can't hack it. They can't hack it. If you can't hack it coming to my class at 7:30 when I'm not here, you are not going to hack it when you ought to be at Barclays at 7:30, and you'll be thrown out. And that attitude sometimes flows through and gets picked up even at interview. So they are not psyched up. It's almost as if the learning process is on this track and they are on that track. So what I want, one of the takeaways that I want to leave them with is that they have to come here with an attitude that I am preparing myself for the world of work. And if you did that, you're going to go through this learning process understanding that I'm educating you. When I come to class and I don't put any slide on the board, I start with a question. What significant thing has happened in the world this week? And everybody is looking at me. They have no clue that the stock exchange has dipped, that this has happened here, that this is happening in Japan, and that is happening in Syria. That's it. They want me to tell them that human resource management is this. Human resource management is not this. I ask you, what do you understand by human resource management? Let's start with humans. Who are human beings? And what do they do? And what do they do at work? So I want you to tell me something. But we find that by and large, we don't have a lot of that input coming from them. And that is what is that. We are going to give you whatever you need. There's the BAM library. There are all manner of libraries around. Even in their own pockets, they have access to vast resources. But I'd rather sit at the back and
Facebook,
do WhatsApp and
Instagram.
Facebook and not, do something that contributes to it. So I'm not saying that every one of them does that. But what I'm saying is that generally, I want them to project a more engaged and a more positive attitude towards the learning process. If they understood that, I think that will be well on their way to producing the kinds of products that will do well in the workplace. Because if you sit in my class, you will know that you have been taught. If you don't sit in my class and you don't come with an attitude of wanting to be taught, you are not going to take.
That's your student.
And I'm sure she can give a better testimony than I can do. So we are not saying that we can give the best, but really we are there because we know what we need to do and we know what we need to give to the students. But without a good partner, it doesn't matter how well you dance. At some point, you are going to trip up and both of you will fall flat.
Right. But Prof, I mean, from your experience, what would you say is responsible for that mindset? Is it the upbringing? Is it the curriculum? The basic school? The senior high school? What would you attribute to this?
I think that the key point is for the individual to be responsible to themselves and to want to do it. If I have a 7:30, I know when I need to wake up to be here for 7:30. So I don't care if your grandmother's cat fell sick. I'm not interested. If you are not here for 7:30, you have an issue with me. And if I give you an assignment and you don't turn it in at the time that I want you to deliver it, consider it not delivered. You need to understand that these are things that you need to do. And when you do them, they become habits. And they become lifelong habits. And so I keep telling them, it's not only about picking academic stuff. As for those things, you can read in books. You can even probably go somewhere and read them up. But it's a learning process. And one must understand that. One must take responsibility for one's own actions. If you did that, I think that's probably half our problem solved. And I don't see enough of that.
All right. In the submissions earlier from industry, they talked about a business plan, that you don't necessarily need capital, but once you're able to write down exactly what you want to do as an entrepreneur, you are halfway through success. Do your students know how to write business plans?
Well, I think maybe Prof would be the best person to answer. But just coming to the question, one thing that we need to recognize that students need to recognize the need to learn. I believe that that is absent in most of our students. A lot of them are more examination oriented, and therefore they are not able to be innovative. I think we haven't had a system where people can harness ideas in this institution. Our students are not being original. And when I talk about being original, looking for new ideas, new things, unique things that they can do. And I believe part of it is due to the training, which could be traced to the senior high school level. We've become a society where we're always transferring knowledge to people. We don't allow people to generate their own ideas. In our secondary schools, our students are not able to co-create knowledge with the tutors. We just bank knowledge into empty receptacles. So at the end of the day, you do well when you chew, pour, and pass. And that is the perception they carry into the university. So if you're teaching them and you're giving them a lot of group exercises, you're challenging them to do a lot of discussions, they're not happy. They want you to give them the handouts. And they're excited when you produce the handouts. And
is that true?
They're excited. They don't want group work. They don't want presentations. They don't want situations where you ask them to think outside the box. Then you're creating problems for them. And I think that is the problem that we have.
All right, I'll come to you very soon, Nana Isufo. But let me go to the Dean of the School of Nursing, Dr. Lydia Aziato. I mean, we've listened to your two colleagues tell us exactly what the students do and what they expect them to be doing instead. From the nursing point of view, we know of a number of nurses, now they call themselves Unemployed Nurses Association of Ghana. A number of nurses who are still sitting at home hoping to be employed into the Ghana Health Service. Now, if you've gone through the system at the University of Ghana as a nurse and you're sitting at home and you're not getting a job, what can you do?
Thank you very much, Nana. You finish university and you are sitting home. What are you sitting home doing? Is Ghana Health Service the only employing hospital in the nation? So what happens is that our products, we have two groups. A group that is already working, so they come in and they're already working, so they don't have a problem. They go back to their work or move on to better jobs, etc. And then we have a group that came in from senior high school. If you finish University of Ghana, you are not a nurse until you write the professional license and exams. So the question number one is, as a graduate nurse, where did you train? And is that institution accredited by both the National Accreditation Board and the Nursing and Midwifery Council? That is number one. When you finish the university, you are supposed to write a professional exam and pass and be licensed. Even after that, you are supposed to do a 1-year internship to get some skills, because nursing is not only the knowledge, it also includes the skill. And because you are caring for human beings, you can't do try and error. So it limits innovativeness to some level, because this is the standard and you have to follow the standard. So most of our students, when they finish the university, they are not nurses yet. So that must be taken as a ground zero. Right. You have to get your professional recognition and you have to do your 1-year internship. So mostly by the time they finish all that, because they've gone to different places, they've made contacts and some of them get employed. The few that do not get employed end up traveling. that must also be put on record that some of our students are internationally employable, so they leave the country. Others also join private institutions, and the nursing degree is like a foundation degree, so others also go into some other passion as a subspecialty, so some go into eye nursing, theater nursing, and others. So usually you don't find University of Ghana graduates staying at home for a long time.
Right.
So maybe I'll end it there for now.
Okay. Now I'll come to you, Nana Silva, because as Prof was speaking earlier, you wanted to chip in. He was talking about exactly what the students do in class and what he expects them to be doing really and truly. So if you can just come in now.
Okay. My contribution to that bit is, I think when I think about it, it's our entire educational framework, because don't forget we all went through this. So probably it's our mode of tutoring right from infancy. But be as it may, we are where we are. And so for those of us who've gone through the system, had the opportunity to school outside and seeing the other side and are working in industry, that is our contribution to the students. And that's why we come in to assist, to help them build the softer skills that they require as they enter into the world of work. For instance, in Barclays, we have a program called Ready to Work. We launched it actually right here in this school with Joyce at the Careers and Counseling Center. And it's an entire rich curriculum-free portal that helps the students prepare how to prepare winning CV, how to prepare for an interview, how to prepare your, how to develop your interpersonal skills. Aside even the portal self-tutoring, we have the face-to-face, which Joyce has been managing for over a year. And we've invested over 1.7 million into other programs, and that was nearly 700,000 with British Council and NACTOS and Legon. And so we come in to support the students to bridge that gap. But the question is, the student has to be prepared, you know, and to have a drive to say, I want to succeed. Because I can bring all the skills and help you, but if, as Prof was saying, you've got to be ready and you've got to have a vision to say, this is what I want to be, I want to succeed in life, and therefore, if I recognize that I lack these skills, then I will take it on. The creativity that we talk about, how many of us are thinking about being creative? If you appear in front of any panel, any of us, to say you are coming for an interview and you're supposed to do a presentation, you can't be creative by not presenting the normal slides. You can do a role play. Now that's creativity because you're thinking out of the box. You have the 9 dots that you can draw lines through. Most people don't get it because they think within the framework of the 9 dots and cannot think how to draw straight 3 lines or 4 lines through that whenever you do a creativity exercise. But that just tells you about the framework of how we think. But when you come to work, I have a problem. I don't need somebody to come and whine to me. I need you to be a problem solver. Right. So I need you to be analytical. I need you to be innovative, to think outside the box and help me solve problems. And so this is the mindset that we want to help our students and our young, sisters and brothers to think outside the box so that academia will give what they can, as Prof said. The thing is, there's so much information going on out there. Who is listening to Quest Means Business? Who is listening to CNN? Who is listening? If you want to be in banking, cryptocurrency is on. Who is studying it? Are you reading about it? Big data, data analytics. Are you thinking about these things to say, let me read? Or you are just sitting on social media chatting to girls and boys? It doesn't add up. And so I think our students to use their time a little bit more efficiently and learn outside the knowledge in the book alone, to learn wider.
Okay. I have to go to Mrs. Kwashi. You all keep saying, think outside the box. What does it mean to think outside the box? Do you know what it means to think outside the box? No? Right.
Now, I find that concerning. Because if you think about the statement, think outside the box, think about the statement. Historically, our parents, and my parents did it, your parents. You go to school, you go to uni, and they expect you to either become a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, what's the other one? A teacher. So there are specific careers they're expecting you to follow. In the last 20 years, the world has evolved, has changed so rapidly. When I was growing up, we didn't have mobile phones. You guys take it as, you know, it's business as usual. You're wired differently from us, from Nana, from all of us on the panel here. You are wired differently. I think I'm correct in saying that you're all between the ages of what, 18 to 35? Approximately. I know I've gone a little far with 35, but 18, let's say 18 to, I don't know, 25, 26. You are technically speaking what we call millennials. And as we understand it, by the year 2020, your generation will constitute 50% of the entire global workforce. Where are you guys going to be within that? Think about it. Because here, you sit here, you go to lectures, you're taught. These are the technical skills. You can't sit around waiting for things to be given to you, to be spoon-fed to you. You need to go out there to get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to be proactive about your own development. You take ownership. Yes, the university will equip you with the technical skills. However, you do need to build your interpersonal skills, communication skills, teamwork, leadership skills. All of these can be acquired. Barclays are offering this free of charge, on site, but there are no takers, or there are very few takers. Bear in mind that when you go into the world of work, okay, your technical skills will constitute 15% of what you actually need. Your communication and interpersonal skills will constitute 85% of what you need to be successful. It's how you relate to people on a daily basis in your workplace. Nobody's an island. You cannot go to work and not communicate with people, not deal with people. You'll work on your own, you'll work with teams, you'll work as part of a team, you'll lead projects. It takes skill. You need to start looking at that and building on it. Okay? And networking is important. I've mentioned this before at a previous presentation. Network. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got all these social media apps. You don't actually speak to a person face to face. You need to do that. You need to go out there, you need to use your parents' friends who they know, go to events, meet people, introduce yourself. You'd be amazed at how much people remember. You'll go somewhere, talk to someone, depending on the topic of conversation. You meet them, you have a pleasant conversation, you go away. A few months later, you go somewhere else. That person remembers you because of something that you must have said during the conversation, and you never know where that encounter is going to lead you. You need to network. You need to sell yourself. You need to get out there. Make yourself visible. Okay?
Okay.
Nobody's nodding.
Eunice, I have to come to you. I mean, you are a student of Prof. Do you want to share just 30 seconds of your experience in his class?
As he said...
Oh, you were a student as well. Probably have two students here.
As he said, I remember very well, he was very particular about his time. You dare not go for his lecture late. And it was usually a 7:30 lecture. So with that,
is it still 7:30? All right.
So you dare not get yourself late, or else, I mean, he would walk you out. And then maybe we didn't understand. But the point is, you're going to work, a client is coming to you to see you between 7:30 to 8, or even at 8 o'clock. So if you are not at work, how do you meet the clients? You're looking at doing all sorts of business and all. Somebody has an appointment with you at a particular time. If we cannot learn some of these things now, what makes us think that we'll be able to do it then? So those are very key values that we learned then, and now it's really helping us.
Okay. Now, assuming a student or a graduate is able to write a very fantastic business plan and walks into the office of First Bank, how early or how readily will you attend to a fresh graduate?
Okay, so at First Bank, we have a corporate finance unit. We help institutions in raising funds and all of that. We would actually look at your business plan with you, assess it, get to see, is it a workable one, or what we call a bankable project? Is it one that would work? Is your focus group or the target group you're looking at well laid out? Is it one that you can do all of that with? So once we identify that, then we help you with raising funds. So it's something that we actually do. Our doors are actually open to that. And the mere fact that the person is a student, it gives you that, because there are a lot of ideas all around. So once you have a student coming up, our corporate finance unit is ready to assist with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prof, I'm sorry I have to come back to you about the issue of the business plan.
Yes.
Can they write business plans?
Yes, why not? I mean, I wouldn't say that if you went to the School of Nursing, you'd be taught how to write a business plan.
Right.
Business, so probably we do more of that in the business school.
Right.
But if you Google business plan, it's there. And if we have given you the skills, which I know we have, you ought to be able to put something together.
Right.
Last semester, this Careers and Counseling Center organized another program, and I volunteered my professorial time, went and sat there, spent 2 hours, and got attached to 3 mentees. Ask me where they are. I have absolutely no idea.
They don't show up?
No. After the first session, I sent them mail. I gave each of them an assignment. You have to do that, you have to do that, you have to do that. Give it to me 2 weeks before you leave. As the guys who say, Kabashi, I haven't heard anything from them. So, if you tell me that you don't know how to put a business plan together, then I'm saying that we haven't, quote unquote, brought you up properly here. But we do that. But as has been said already, what is the business plan for? Where are you headed? Who is interested? What is the game-changing element that you are introducing? And all of these things. These are, I suppose, far more important than the business plan per se. That one I'll say they can do it, no problems. But those other softer issues and skills that they have to add, I think that's where the question. And then there's this big thing of attitude, which I think it's really lacking most of the time. If we were to turn around and have a more positive goal-getting, I want to do it and I want to achieve kind of approach, I think that probably help a lot more of them than it's the case now. And in the meantime, I'm still waiting for those 3 mentees to show up.
All right, let's take our break now. This is State of Affairs. We're coming to you from the University of Ghana. When we come back, there were some questions from some students, I believe, on social media yesterday when I put the flyer for this event out. Passion versus talent versus a first-class degree. We'll come back to talk about it. Stay with us.
Nukro, Alomo die, Edulubuna, Edimunae, Sanya Alomo Vitessa, Massa, forget it.
Casapreco Alomo Betes, authentically African.
Sa pepe.
Rijoko, I come panse. Rijoko, I am otopa. Nedane as unkompa. Rijoko, day and day. I'm away to me, I drink a kobo ati. Rijoko, I come to Rijoko, Nedane as unkompa.
For new Kadu Rijoko Juni. Ayo kama ankasa na asanso ayemotopa. Nedane yasoro kupayi.
Ghana, are you ready for the biggest concerts on Independence Day? EIB Network, in partnership with the Ghana Trade Fair Company, brings you the maiden edition of the Made in Ghana concert. It's everything Ghanaian, the music, the culture, and the arts. It is happening on the 6th of March, Tuesday, at the Ghana Trade Fair Center, La Accra. Join us as we light up the skies with music. The concert kickstarts from 6 p.m. and is free. Come and experience great performances from your favorite artists as we celebrate independence. The Made in Ghana concert is proudly sponsored by EIB Network and the Ghana Trade Fair Company.
Revitalize your body with Master T. try, sir, but always wake up feeling very tired.
Don't you drink Master Tea?
Master Tea.
Master Tea is a food supplement formulated to improve sleep, reduce stress, relax muscles, invigorate the body for good health and vitality, giving you a fresh start for the day.
We love Master Tea.
Now available at all pharmacies, filling station shops and shopping centers nationwide. Contact Medimosis in Accra, Kumase, Tema and Strazako. Master Tea, another quality product from Medimosis, not suitable for pregnant women and lactating mothers.
Master Tea, invigorate the body for good health and vitality.
Mofra wondi enfiedu watch. And we're drinking sporty beer. I don't go bitters. Edemufua.
The Ghana International Trade Fair is back again. From the 28th February to the 7th of March 2018, the Ghana Trade Fair Company will be hosting over 500 exhibitors from all over the world for the 22nd International Trade Fair at the Ghana Trade Fair Center, La Accra. Come and have quality entertainment while you network to develop your business. Activities lined up for the 22nd International Trade Fair: Wednesday 28th February, opening ceremony; Thursday 1st March, Regional Day celebration; Friday 2nd March, High Life Night; Saturday the 3rd of March, Country Day celebration; Sunday 4th March, Food Fair and CEO's cooking competition; Monday the 5th of March, Cocoa Day and into Madan. Then on the 6th of March, the biggest outdoor concerts. Come and enjoy your favorite local Ghanaian dishes at the Food Fair while you listen to evergreen high life music at the Beer Festival on weekends and holidays. The Kids Corner will give our children a treat with their favorite cotton candy, ice cream, bouncy castle, swimming pool, face painting and many more. Be part of the 22nd International Trade Fair. Join us from the 28th to the 7th of March at the Ghana Trade Fair Center as we trade and network in style and entertainment under the theme Industrializing Ghana and Creating Jobs. The program is brought to you by the Ghana Trade Fair Company in partnership with the Ministry of Trade, One District, One Factory and EIB Network.
Our special reports go beyond barriers.
The government forces were firing from that torched building, and then the rebels were also returning fire from this place.
The frustration that shows on the faces of many commuters is an indication of their anticipation.
Introducing our weekend edition of the news. If you could not catch us in the course of the week, catch us on the weekend. It's crisp, authoritative, and original. No. Trust our reporters to bring you up-to-the-minute information, whether it's breaking or developing. Our reporters will fish it out.
So we're just going to stand here and watch how this car burns to ashes without...
Our cameras never miss any action. Weekend edition starts March 3, 2018. GHOne News. News you can trust.
Silva, a major new bottle, same authentic taste, natural herbs, smooth and minty. Drink responsibly.
The kind of authority that you have. The Bible says that he has made you a priest, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. What it means is that when your daughter is sick, you don't have to call the pastor. Oh, I call my pastor is not answering, and because of that I am depressed. No, when you lay your hands on the sick shall. We have so many depressed Christians. Why? Because when they are going through hard times and they call their pastor and their pastor is not picking, then my pastor doesn't like. Your pastor doesn't have to like you. Your pastor doesn't even have to have any word with you. All that you know you need to have is have a relationship with God and establish your contact with God and be in your place, your high place. Stand as an heir of Christ.
Hello, my name is Dr. Michael Bodine. I'm the head pastor of the Maker's House Chapel International. I'm coming your way on GHOne TV with Destiny Word. I believe that everybody's life and destiny needs augmentation, and that's why you have to make a date with me. God bless you, even as you stay tuned.
Destiny Word. GHOne TV, your best experience.
Our special reports go beyond barriers.
The government force were firing from that torched building, and then the rebels were also returning fire from this place.
The frustration that shows on the faces of many commuters is an indication of their anticipation.
Introducing our weekend edition of the news. If you could not catch us in the course of the week, catch us on the weekend. It's crisp, authoritative, and original. No. Trust our reporters to bring you up-to-the-minute information, whether it's breaking or developing. Our reporters will fish it out.
So we're just going to stand here and watch how this car burns to ashes without...
Our cameras never miss any action. Weekend edition starts March 3, 2018. GHOne News. News you can trust.
We try be an amaniaje, we try be intimaniaje rough. We don't be a mama homeka, and ya homeka intima fine. I don't go for me go, fade, I don't go for me go, fade, for me gonna maniaje rough, fade, yeni abani nunguna nae, we try be an fine. Whenever you I don't go every day long manum. I don't go for me go.
Mofra won di enfie du watch. And we're drinking sports beer. I don't go bitters. Edemufua.
Welcome back to State of Affairs on GHOne TV. We are coming to you from the University of Ghana. Today, the UG Careers and Counseling Center is organizing a forum between academia and industry. I'll quickly go through our discussants once again so you know who we've been talking to. Professor Daniel Ofori is here representing the Pro Vice Chancellor. Can we clap for him once again? Miss Eunice Ejapong is the Executive Director for First Bank. Dr. Lydia Aziato is the Dean of School of Nursing. Professor Michael Tego is the Provost, College of Education. Mr. Leonard Kwakopome is the Director of Surveyed Consult. Mrs. Dana Kwashi is the CEO of Giraffe Consulting. And Miss Nana Isilfa Boyson is a Corporate Affairs Manager for Barclays Bank. Well, finally, I'm going to take some questions from you to our discussants here. But before we go, yesterday there was an interesting discussion on my timeline on Twitter when I posted this picture. Somebody was asking if I feel that I have a talent to be a great banker, but I have a passion to produce orange juice. And I graduated with first class from the University of Ghana Business School. What do I do? So it's been a confusion in his mind for a very long time. Well, he's sitting at home still looking for a job. Prof, what should he do?
How do you discover that you have a talent for, what was it?
Banking.
No, the talent one first.
That he's got a passion.
A passion.
And then he's got a talent.
Okay.
So the passion, let me just go back to it and read it. So he's got a passion to be a producer of orange juice.
He wants to
do that.
Yes.
That's what he feels he can do. But he's got a talent for banking.
How did he arrive at the talent for banking?
I wish I knew. And he had a first class, but he's still sitting at home and can't get a job.
Yeah, first class because he did extremely well in his exams. He or she in their exams. And sad to say, but like sometimes is the case. The first class is what is on the paper. I'm more interested in what is behind what's on the paper. But usually, or sometimes, it is said that the things that tend to succeed are the things that you do with passion. I teach with passion. If you sit in my class, you will know that you have sat in a class. So I do it with passion.
Right.
But if I didn't have the knowledge, the passion would be meaningless. So you've got to put the two together. Now, there are times where you are able to do things because you love what you do. But there are times where you're able to do things because you know how to do them.
Right.
So I think that it's extremely dangerous to consider them as being mutually exclusive. That is an either or. If I do this, then I cannot do this. What are the prevailing opportunities now? What have they done with their talent? Have they done any internship anywhere? What have they done with their passion? Have they gone to, I don't like dropping names, but have they gone to some hospitality thing and said, look, I have this idea for orange juice or whatever. Could you want to give me 5 minutes to see whether what I have is going to sell? Have they done that? As far as I'm concerned, they are still sitting there tweeting away and saying that I have this passion and one day it's going to drop. So stand up and do something with it. So because all I can speak to is the little that you have told me, but what I'm saying is that passion is good, talent is even better, but try and cook something with those ingredients that you have and let's taste it. If we like it, you are more likely to take it somewhere. But if you just sit at home wondering, I have tons of passion and tons of talent, you are going to sit there for the next millennium and nothing is going to happen.
All right, so Bernard, answer.
Something with it.
That is your answer. I promise to get you an answer. All right, so let's move on now. Another thing that came up yesterday, a lady said that these days everybody is talking about entrepreneurship. Even if you have a white-collar job, you have a 9 or 8 to 5, and you don't have something on the side, people think you're being lazy because you definitely have to try your hands at something else aside your 9 to 5 job. Eunice, is that really the case?
I would say it's not the case you are lazy. The point is it depends on what you're doing. So if your job, and generally if you look at most people in the working world, currently it's not an 8 to 5 issue. It goes beyond 5 p.m. because there are some clients that you need to meet after working hours and all of that just to seal that deal. So it's not an 8 to 5 thing as it used to be in the past. But the point is, if you actually have the opportunity to add on something, then I'll advise you to do so. Yeah. So on weekends, what do you do with your time? We are talking about social media. I was in KNUST last 2 weeks, and there's actually a student who actually sells shirts. So your weekends, for instance, if it's all about staying at home, doing a lot of chatting, you could actually post some of your things actually on social media to sell them. So it's not a hard and fast rule that, those people are lazy or you necessarily need to add on. But you need to look at your time and then again identify your passion, your talents, and then merge all of those so that then you can employ them. But at the end of the day, the point is you're working till say 60. What happens afterwards? Right. So that's where you need to start building up something for yourself now so that you can decide to retire early and then do something for yourself.
Okay. Professor Tego, at all cost first class?
Well, that's the trend now. People think that when you have a first class, then, things must happen. You go out to the world and people, just accept you because you are first class. But like Prof said, first class is just your performance. there are a lot of competencies that you need to develop. If you can't communicate well and you have first class, nobody will pick you. If you can't work with people, you don't have good interpersonal relations. You know, there's serious issues with ethics and integrity. Nobody will pick you, even if you have a first class. So we're saying that develop the competencies whilst you are making the first class, and make sure that you become a holistic individual. You know, so first class is good. I don't have anything. You need to do well, but add things to the first class, and these things are critical for the 21st century student who is going to enter the world of work.
All right, 5 minutes more and then we can take your questions. Dr. Asiato, I just have one question for you. I mean, if you want to be a nurse, if you're coming from a family of nurses and they say at all costs you also need to be a nurse, but that is not what you really want to do, what do you do?
Thank you very much. We have students in our school that I always engage with. You look at a person today, you look at him tomorrow, and you know that this gentleman, this lady cannot be a nurse.
So why are they there?
Nursing is 3 in 1: the head, the heart, and the hands. People come in because they think just after finishing you get a job. If you travel and you are a nurse, it's liquid gold, I call it, because you make a lot of money. People come in because their parents or some other relative is out there, so they want them to finish and come and join them. Right. So they come into nursing. I always tell them, if you don't have the 3, you will go and kill somebody. So you can change courses. Now, if you come in without that heart, without that hands, because you can't be a nurse without going to the clinical area to work, or the skills room to go and learn how to do what we do. So it's not only about learning to get a first class, but that empathy to care for somebody who is vulnerable, and that readiness to use your hands to clean me up or to wash me when I even saw myself and all that. So that aside, if you want to be a nurse, it's okay. If somebody is forcing you to become a nurse and you don't want to be a nurse, don't come in, because you will not be happy.
But they're the ones paying the bill. They're paying the fees.
Yes, they are the ones paying the bills. But we are teaching our students, our children, to be assertive, to follow their dream and their passion. So parents out there, you don't force any of your children to become nurses if you don't have the heart to care. Most of the challenges we've been having is the fact that the person who is having the challenge is not a nurse. It's having the certificate, but the person is not a caregiver, is not a carer. So you need that blend. But then I want to add that if you came in and you were not happy, nursing has a lot of branches. You have nursing administration, nursing research, nursing education, and nursing in the theater that you don't have to care for any human being. Right. I mean, like, not deal with people every day. So once you get in and you make somebody happy and you want to stay, find a branch that you can connect and be happy. Right. But you don't have to stay in the clinical area if you don't have the heart and the hands.
Right.
Thank
it's
you.
like my father insisted that I become a doctor. I would have been a complete mess. All right, let me come to you, Mr. Kwakupome. You've all been, I mean, for you coming from industry, you've been going on and on about how you need to be very strong at your interpersonal skills. You need to be a great partner, a great team player. What would you say has been the impact of social media on young people like these students? Because they're having their meetings in WhatsApp groups. they're not meeting anybody. They sit on Twitter and they're having their conversations. They don't necessarily have to do the face-to-face. What should they be doing?
I think social media is great. It has its pluses and minuses. Unfortunately, I think a lot of our students are choosing the minuses because they are spending a lot of time doing WhatsApping for nothing really. But like you said, I mean, when I was doing my MBA, after I've worked for about 10 years, I decided to go to do my MBA, and that's where I met Dr. Fori. He supervised my thesis. I did a distance learning, but he supervised my thesis. And
how was it?
That was, I mean, one of the things I learned from him was his promptness.
Right.
I sent him a whole document, and in 2 days, he's done with it. So the pressure was always on me. The pressure was always on me to catch up. But when I was doing, because it was a distance learning program, you didn't have a class. And therefore, we connected and decided that we will have discussions on phone. Those days, we didn't have WhatsApp and those things, but we did teleconference. So we had discussions via teleconference. So it is so useful. We don't have to leave our rooms and go and meet at a physical place to have discussions.
Right.
We can do discussions these days, even on WhatsApp, on boards, various boards, and so on and so forth. So I think for us in school, we have to use social media more to our advantage. If we don't, we are wasting away the time. There is a lot more time for all that we are doing now after school.
Right.
So if we can channel our energies into finding creative ways of applying social media to learning, then we'll be better off. We'll be preparing ourselves better for industry.
Okay.
A lot of the things that we've talked about here may not be in the classroom. It is how we apply ourselves. We have various clubs. How do you apply yourself? So for instance, you go to any employer and you say you have organizational skills. What shows? If you can tell me that during the whole week celebration, you were in charge of logistics and you did A, B, C, D. That is organization skills. You have organized a program. There is no difference between organizing a whole week celebration and organizing a corporate event. You need the same set of skills. So if we will apply ourselves based on the various avenues that the university has created for us, because you can learn everything in the classroom,
right,
but the university has created various avenues, sports, clubs, what have you. We will have to apply ourselves and take advantage of them.
All right. Now, let me come to Mrs. Dana Kwashi. What role does confidence play in all of this?
I'd say it's a big part. It's a big part. The art of walking into a room full of people that you don't know. It's difficult, but when you're going after something, when you're determined to get something, and you have an opportunity whereby somebody sends you to an event saying, Mr. So-and-so is there, or Mrs. So-and-so is there, and you need them for a project that you have or something that you need to have that confidence in yourself to go in there, introduce yourself, and get cracking on with it. In terms of confidence as well, when it comes to interviews, we all appreciate when you go for a job or when you interview for anything, really. There's an element of nervousness, yes. But if you let that fear take over and your confidence, that there isn't a little bit of confidence shining through, why would the employer consider you for the role? Why would anybody consider you for anything? You need to have the confidence in yourself. You have knowledge, you have talent, you have skills. Deep breath, believe in yourself, build that confidence. Confidence can be built, but you need to be prepared to do the hard work. It all boils down to work, which you guys are not keen on, but if you want to succeed, you do need to work for it. So confidence building, learning how to project yourself, how to sell yourself, all of this can be learned. and take advantage of opportunities that are offered you by various institutions. Jocelyn and her team work very hard to provide you with a range of programs. Please take advantage, use them.
Okay. And then finally, Nana Isilfi Boyson, you're in charge of marketing and corporate affairs for Barclays Bank. For these young people here who probably have an interest in marketing, what would you say to them?
I think we've deliberated on having the passion and the talent, and also just being a high performer in a subject. You've got to have the passion for any subject, and I'm not sure it's even just about marketing or anything. All subjects, in all spheres of engagement, I think you must have the passion for what you want to do, and you just have to also ensure that you learn the right skills, because you've got to be exceptional in your area if you want to grow up the ladder. It's not just being mediocre at what you do. An example of somebody I know who did fantastic at Cornell University and is an Ivy League. But do you know what she does? She had a passion to be creative, and now she makes all the Vlisco, their creative stuff that you see around. But what she started on was never in creativity. But she realized that that was her true passion, and now she has the joy, to do that. So I think in everything that you do, regardless of any area that you want to chart your path, you just have to make sure that you're learning the right skills and doing it passionately, and also ensuring that you do it with the heart. The professor of nursing was talking about making sure it's from here. You can't do anything in a haphazard manner and succeed. It won't work. You've got to have the passion for what you want to do, even if you don't have the top performance in it. Once you have the passion, you have the ability to drive yourself and get better at what you do.
All right. Thank you very much. Time now for the question.
Thank you very much. My name is Abana Tandana Stephen. The Ghanaian society is more of do as it has always been done. It doesn't welcome creativity or anything new. Bureaucracy is also something that you can't do without in Ghana. My question is, how do you overcome your fears, then these bureaucracies, in order to follow your passion and be creative, especially in a stereotypical environment, without breaking rules, and then at least losing your small income, your small source of income? Thank you.
Yes, that was the culture then. But now creativity is very relevant. Let me give an example. So I'm selling investment products to somebody from the business school, and I'm selling an investment product to somebody in the marketplace. I can't use the same approach. So you need to be creative in whatever you do. If you find yourself in a particular department or in a particular line of job, they've been doing things like this in the past, but they have actually brought you on to do something else, to solve a problem. That is why you are there. So in the same way, if you are going to get better results and do things in a different way, obviously you will be recognized for that. So it used to be the thing then, but I think we need to begin to change our mindset, and it starts from all of us. It needs to start at a point. So wherever you go, if that's how they were doing some things in a particular way, why have you also been brought there? You've been brought there to make a change. So begin to make that change. It's just that sometimes you want to bring up some radical change within a short time, and that won't work because you went to meet a boss there. So it's a gradual something. You talk to your supervisor, let him understand, okay, you've been doing things this way, but how about this? How about just tweaking it a little? So you drop it in, a bit in a time, but not try to say, everything you are doing here, there's nothing right about it. They'll sack you, and then you wouldn't have anything to do.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming here, students, and thank you for watching the show. Have a good night.
GHOne TV, your best experience.
So you're a comedian. What were you going to do? Give me a hug. No. We'll leave that for somebody else.
Oh, for who?
The one who sang, "Hold Me Tight."
Really? That's all romantic, boy.
Oh, why are you saying that?
He's not romantic.
He's not romantic. Huh?
You don't know.
Why? They're not romantic. Gans are not romantic? Why is that? They are so plain. How would a Ghan person, you know? Okay, where were you from? Which tribe are you?
I'm a nut now.
How would you say it then?
Oh, straight to the point. Yeah, the agro cry about Ivo me pel. Say yes.
Yes.
Come to chow. No, I don't say. No, you're the agro, too much. No, you're too trying to acquire, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you a good cook?
I'm a cooker. I'm a cooker. You see, when I saw you doing this program, I was like, yo, when are they going to call me? They're calling.
It's about
amateurs.
time.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
So you mean you're a cook?
I'm a cooker. You don't know a cooker?
That's a cooker.
No, this is a burner. Burner 1, burner 2, burner. Not burner boy, but burner 1, burner 2, burner 3, burner 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and then these are the sub burners.
Okay.
And that is the under.
All right then. This is a lot of tutorials and just
a
cooker.
No.
So you are a cooker.
I'm a cooker.
All right then. So who can you take on in the kitchen? Let's say in the comedic world.
In the comic world. Who? Nah, I cook for all of them. Last I cooked for DKB, I added T-Roll to it. I cooked for who? I'm the reason why Lewin is slim. I actually told him, yo, you should be on diet. And then I'm the one
who did it.
Yeah.
And I should give you a call. I've been struggling with my weight forever.
Prepared watching for the queen.
Somebody prepared watching
watching for the queen. I gave him the ingredients.
You were the one, yes.
Oh,
amazing.
Yvonne,
well
you
done.
should see me cook.
Done.
My mother comes to me to cook for her when she wants to purge. I know the remedies and the what's the name? The ingredients.
Ruffle.
Yes.
Ruffle. Okay. So who do you think?
Hey. There's this guy I haven't cooked for.
Who's that?
Before. Bismarck.
Oh, Bismarck the joke.
Yeah. We've not actually had that encounter before, but all of them I have done.
And you think you're better than him?
Far better than him. I'm just bringing him here because it's for the sake of the program, so that someone occupies that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Not because of anything.
Can we have Bismarck the joke here in our kitchen?
He's here.
I thought you said you brought him.
Oh, I thought.
Oh, now you're afraid?
No, I'm not.
I'm
not afraid.
Keep quiet, guy. You are a cooker. I'm a cook. I use you to cook.
Yes, I help you to cook.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by what you said?
You are a cooker. We are
what
the
I do. I'm the reason why you are
Hello.
My dear.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm amazing.
You are looking.
Is that why you want to hold me tight?
Yeah, hold me tight.
Hey.
See my jolly ho. Sweetie.
But why are you dancing and doing this? What, like you're checking out my little
it's a style. It's a style.
Ooh,
give it.
I can imagine you do one corner dance.